Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Larkin, one half of the S&M Show podcast, and I am back today with another interview for you guys. On the line here, I'm on with the very talented Poseidon Siren, one half of Team Sea Stars. I'm here with none other than Miss Ashley Vox. Ashley, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Very happy to have you on the show. I'm a big fan of yours. I do enjoy what you do for New England Championship Wrestling and pretty much anywhere on the Indies. Big supporter of the Indies. I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Oh, thank you.
You're most welcome. So, to start off, we'll go back to the beginning for you here, Ashley. Growing up, who were some of your favorite stars, and what was the defining moment or matchup even that made you say, this is something that you wanted to do, get into professional wrestling?
Growing up, me and my dad used to watch WWE all the time, and he was a huge fan of Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, and he'd flex with them whenever they would come out, and I'd do the same thing, like, oh yeah, we're strong. And so I was a huge fan of them, huge fan of Roddy Piper. I just loved how evil he was, and he just had a different style to him. Bret Hart, Stone Cold, The Rock. Favorite match? Well, match that made me feel like I wanted to be a wrestler. I don't think I had one specific, but I just loved. I guess you would say the gestures of Stone Cold and The Rock, and I would just always want to know what it felt like to be in a ring and how the ropes fell and all that. So yeah.
Okay. Now, moving on, we did, you got into New England Championship Wrestling, Chaotic Wrestling Chikara, but before that, I always ask any wrestler I have on the show, memories of your first match, who was it against, and just thoughts going into it.
My first match was for Pioneer Valley Pro. It was me and Dynamite Doug Summers against Toxis and Jace, and I remember being told at practice hey, me and you are going to be tagging, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I didn't feel as nervous because I knew that I was going to be with my trainer at the time, and I felt secure and safe. I didn't feel like I was being thrown out there on my own, which I was terrified of. And I went out there, and I just it was hard to explain. There's a difference between managing and even just managing. That would make me nervous. Going through the curtains is okay, here we go. And but wrestling, actually being on the apron, okay, I'm actually here and I have to actually do stuff now. This isn't practice,
Understand.
So it's very it's so many emotions. You're nervous, and you also have to focus, and yeah. But it was really fun, and I enjoyed that match. And I didn't wrestle until 6 months later because I knew I wasn't ready and I wanted to wait. So yeah.
Okay. Now I want to get into New England Championship Wrestling because it's an astute of graduates. I mean, you have John Cena, you have guys like Doug Williams, Ace Darling, Antonio the Promise Thomas, Beth Phoenix, Mistress Belmont, Max Bauer, Matt Stryker, Sarah Del Rey. The list goes on and on. Slick Wagner Brown, Nikki Rocks, Kofi Kingston. And just tell me, what was it like for you training at such an astute group as New England Championship Wrestling?
Training there?
Mm-hmm. And working there.
I didn't... Oh, working there?
Yeah.
I remember, I didn't know anything about independent wrestling, and, I just thought it was WWE, and that was it, and I thought the only way that you get in WWE is, through Tough Enough. So, when I was, really wanting to try to find a way, how do you become a wrestler? What school do you go to? And, searching all of that, I came across New England Championship Wrestling, and they're popular here in New England, obviously. So that was one of the shows that I watched a lot, along with Chaotic, and being a part of it, it's a really good feeling. Sharing a locker room with Alexis Nevaeh, Nikki Valentine, Mistress Belma, Davy Ann, those girls, like, it's just, like, you watch it online and then the next minute you're, like, sharing a locker room. And it's, like, I guess, like, hard work does pay off and, like, you get somewhere if you, like, you don't give up and, like, you keep going for it.
Okay. Now you mentioned Chaotic there again. Another astute of graduates. You mean Chad Wicks, who would later go on to be Chad Dick, Low Key, Darren Young, Kenny Dykstra, even one Mercedes KV herself, who would later go on to be the Sasha Banks, the boss. I mean, talk about some of your memories of Chaotic Wrestling.
I think my biggest memory, which was like my biggest highlight in my career, was being the Chaotic Women's Champion. It's a title with so much history, and I'm holding it, you know. So, like, winning that title, and especially it being my first title, it's like a dream come true. It was like one of my goals in, like, wrestling itself, you know. So I remember, like, that night I was like, okay, like, here I go. And I remember being, like, really nervous. Like, my stomach felt very sick. Like, I was just like, like, my match is, like, right now. And when I was out there, like, it felt fine and everything felt fine. And I was going against Davy Ann, who's awesome. And she's a great friend. So I felt safe and I felt like I had so much fun in that match. And I remember, like, at the end of it, it was like an amazing moment. It was like it paid off, and, like, I finally won my first title after, like, 2 years and, like, never really winning a title. It was like my first 4 matches, like Delmi says. And you know, like, finally winning my first title, and, like, a title that holds so much history is, like, I don't know, I don't think I can top anything else like that, you know.
Okay, before we actually get to Delmi, because I want to talk about the formation of Team C Stars and your opponents that you've worked with in the ring. Another promotion I have here I want to talk to you about is Chikara. Give me some of your memories of Chikara.
Oh man, I think the most recent one where Murloc shoved Jocelyn in the fridge. It was Our Power, and I was facing Murloc, and I mean, if you've seen Murloc, he's like this angry big piranha.
Yes.
So, and nothing works with him, you know. So, you know, I'm going at him and I'm just bouncing back away. He tosses me here and there, and next thing you know, I find Jocelyn in the fridge, and it's like all over Twitter, and yeah. Another moment was like our first time there, driving down to Philly, and we've never driven that far, and it was for Young Lions Cup. It was 2016 that we drove down there. It was like the longest drive that we've ever done, which is like 5 hours and a half. And I remember I was first, and that was the first time that that was the first time that I was doing a match that had lucha rules, and I was, you know, extremely new, and I was like, okay, and we're first, and, you know, your heart's racing, and like, okay, but it was fun, and it was a good rush, and, like, I learned a lot from that match, and I learned that I needed to be, you know, quicker and, like, do things that'll prepare me for lucha rules, you know. That wasn't something that I was used to. But yeah, I always have fun every time I'm down at Chikara.
All right, so now we'll move on to Team C Stars. I have to ask, how did the name come about, and thoughts on the whole Team C Stars and the formation of Team C Stars?
Well, Mexicools was already taken, so we had to come up with something else. It sounds like Ashley had this whole thing with, like, the Aqua Girl gimmick, and I had the alien, so it's like C on her end and Star on my end. Mm-hmm. And so when we said it together, it sounded like C Star, like a Mexican way to say sister. Mm-hmm. Because I would always tease her, like, oh, you're my C Star. Even before we, like, thought of using that, I was like, hey, if we spell it like this, it sounds like you're saying sister.
Now, I have to say this. I watched one of the promos, and I believe it was actually how you guys actually got, the formation of it. I remember it just had you, Delmi, talking about all hail King Waffle, and it was just...
Yeah.
I did some preparation for this going in. I gotta say, I love the promos, and you guys have just been killing in the thing. I just had to mention that because I got nothing but respect for you guys. You guys have been really tearing it up on the indies as the Team C stuff. I'll say that right now.
It's so funny because when we first posted that promo, like, we got no feedback because we were, like, so new. No one heard of us.
Yeah.
And, like, now it's just popping up again. It's like, why did you guys tell us that was good before? Like, we got crickets when we first posted that, so we're like, let's never do that again.
We could probably do that with a tortilla. Like, we were doing that today, this morning. Delmi had a tortilla on her forehead. She's like, oh, hail tortilla.
I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, anytime I think of waffles, I also think of, you go back to your Harold and Kumar where he's talking about Wafflebot and Kumar and all that. I mean, that's what it reminds me of thinking about waffle stuff. But I loved it. I thought it was tremendous. I mean, that's comedy gold right there. You're welcome. But yeah, now... All right, so I have to ask you guys, Team C Stars, one of my favorite matches that you guys did. You guys had Solo Darling with you guys. It was against Sammy Lane. I mean, you've been in there with Heidi Lovelace. Just give me some of your guys' favorite matches that you've been a part of.
I would say the one where we tagged with Heidi and Kim against the Hex Men. It was Mike Angelicetti, the Bateri, and Icarus. They were all under the Nazmal Jul spell, and we were in Canada at the time, so we were like drained. I felt like that was like our biggest match at that point was like teaming with those two, because those two are like, they were the top girls in the indies, and it was nice like being able to have like a mentor for that match. Mainly, I feel like me and Ashley's first matches, it was always like we didn't get to tag with a lot of vets, or we didn't get to work with a lot of vets. It was always just new people working with new people, so it was always like, well, good luck out there. And this one was like a good like feeling. It was just like, I just have to try to be on their level,
Okay. Now, for this, I'd like to talk, before we get to, I want to talk about some current product stuff. I want to talk about some women's wrestling with you guys. We'll do a little word association. So I'm going to name an opponent here that you guys have fought, whether it be against each other as a team, and just give me one word or anything that best describes that opponent in your eyes. So we'll do a little word association. Ashley, I'll start with you. First name I have here is Davian.
Davian.
Mm-hmm.
One word.
Yep.
Love.
Next one is actually your tag team partner, Miss Delmi XO.
Ooh.
Hate. I'm just kidding. Word.
Don't worry, take your time.
Gee, one word for Delmi XO. Special.
Okay, I'll go retort that with Delmi. One word for Miss Ashley Vox.
Hot mess. Hyphenate.
Okay, next one I have for you, Ashley, is Murloc.
Oh my god, Murloc. Terrified.
Okay. One who you've actually wrestled, Ashley, Caitlin Diamond.
Mate.
Okay. Skylar.
Is this for me or Delmi?
I'm sorry, this is for Ashley.
Oh, okay.
Dirt poop.
Dirt poop.
Okay, next name is... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, Mistress Belmont.
Blueberries.
Allison Jade.
Cat eyes.
Okay.
Is that one right?
Oh.
She has the eyeliner. That's why.
Dynamite Doug Summers.
Chubby.
Jelly bean.
Kimberly.
Queen.
Princess.
Oh my god, she graduated? She graduated. Queen.
Heidi Lovelace.
Spunky.
Ooh, I like that one.
Nice.
Punk? Like punk rock, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, Ruby Riott. Let's start a riot.
Yeah,
There you go.
I want everything right.
All right, Solo Darling.
Ooh. Hyper. Sugar.
All right, and last name for this before we move on, Sammy Lane.
Legs.
Va boom.
Okay. All right, so let's get into some current product now. I have to say, the women's division has been heating up, whether it be in WWE, Impact Wrestling, all over the indies. I got to say, on the current side of things with WWE and Impact Wrestling, or Ring of Honor as well, Women of Honor, women are killing it. You see a lot of indie talent there. Who are some of your favorites that you've seen on the main roster? We'll start there as far as women that you guys enjoy with WWE and Impact Wrestling.
I really like Bailey because she has a lot of heart. She doesn't try to be, this, I'm bad, I'm a badass, like us. Like, we don't go out there and we're like, oh, we're rated R, we're super bad, like, we're just like ourselves and very, like, kid-friendly, PG, and that's how Bailey is. And we really like that. And I just love how she presents herself in her, like, style.
On top of Bailey, I like Charlotte because of how athletic she is. Okay. Like, I really like the amount of moves she can, like, take and endure. She's super freak beast. I want to be like that.
She talks to herself, too. Oh, yeah, right? It's pretty cool.
So I have to say now, speaking of Charlotte, since you brought that up, it looks like we're going towards the face direction, possibly, maybe, but then again, she is the dirtiest player in the game as we're giving her now with that moniker. So what do you guys think about this, some sort of face turn? We got her, Becky Lynch, and Naomi taking on the welcoming committee tonight here at a Payback. So what do you guys think about that whole ordeal, what we got going on?
I like it. It switches things up, keeps it different. You can't play like the same tune with her, otherwise she'll get stale,
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I've always been a fan of Charlotte Flair. Anybody pretty much will like doubt her, she, because of her father. But she's really been killing it. I mean, she's worked hard from the days of how she used to be in NXT to where she has progressed. It's great to see her progression. And I'll say this right now: if Reed Flair, God rest his soul, was still alive, he would have been doing the exact same path. I think, if he was in NXT.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like all for Charlotte. So I'm pretty sure like any role she has to play, she'll kill it. She'll find a way to like get it over and stuff. So, I mean, I'm not going to tell someone else how to write the script. Yeah. So I'll just watch and like enjoy it and like take notes on how to do things.
And I think that's the problem. I think wrestling fans, very fickle. I'll say that as much. I mean, they are. Wrestling fans can be very, very fickle, and I think it's just nobody just enjoys it anymore. Is the thing. Everybody has to just like get into it. I mean, just enjoy it for what it is. Let it, let it simmer. Let it. It's the element of surprise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like no one enjoys it. They're never satisfied. They like someone, and then when they hear them cut a promo, they're like, "That person's terrible," and it's like. Really? Like, I mean, you wouldn't do that. Like, if the Patriots were not doing so good, you wouldn't give up on your team and like, oh, I hate the Patriots. Like, no one does that. But in wrestling, they just get bored easily, like, quick.
Yeah, I remember, like, at one point they were like, oh, Sasha gets everything. It's like, what? No, she just started.
She really doesn't. She worked so hard for it.
It's only been a year, guys.
Oh my god! And the internet recently just blew up because Alicia Fox beat her on Raw in 3 minutes, and I'm like,
I saw that, yeah.
And I'm like,
it was a good match, but also Alicia Fox has been there longer, and we haven't really seen her do anything.
Yeah,
so
like let her get stuff in.
Yeah.
So, yes, Miss Alicia Fox doing the whole thing with Noam Dar. I got no problem with it. I mean, it cracks me up. And besides, I also cracked up with the whole, when she was doing the thing with Nia Jax, and she, get out of my face, and she, like, threw the box in her face, and that brawl was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah.
And you also got to admit, a lot of people forget, Alicia Fox has been there since, like, 2007, 2008. I mean, she started as the wedding planner, then she was with DJ Gabriel on the new NXT. I mean, when DJ Gabriel, that's a name that I'm sure a lot of people are like, who? But yes, he existed for a very short time. But, yeah, I mean, she's come a long way, and I actually was there the first night when she became a Divas Champion at Fatal 4-Way. I mean, she's really come a long way, so give Foxy her due.
Yeah, and people forget that, and they just like, oh, I want someone new, and then you bring someone new. It's like, I want someone new, and then you bring another new person. It's like, no, I want someone new.
And I'll say this right now. Pretty much, I've always said it about Alicia Fox. One of my favorite Northern Lights suplexes she delivered. That Northern Lights suplex is sweet. The Christmas of it, I love it. The bridge is sweet. You gotta admit.
Yeah. She has such long legs too, and like the tilt the world backbreaker.
Yes.
She's so good at that.
I love it. And Sasha, I know will do fine. If I see Sasha and Alicia Fox on a pay-per-view, I'm fine with it. It really doesn't bug me. Yes, I get people's disconcern with it because, oh, well, they're pushing her out of the women's championship, but let it simmer. And besides, I've been loving Alexa Bliss as his heel turn. I've loved it. I've loved it. The whole shutting down the what chants. It's great. I mean, you guys, what are your thoughts on how Alexa Bliss has been progressed as this heel? Whether it be on SmackDown or Raw, she's holding both championships. I mean, she's come a long way from wearing the blue tutu and the glitter and the glam and the glitz, and then she's with Blake and Murphy. Now she's just been killing it. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on Alexa Bliss?
I wasn't too sure about her when she first started, because again, like the whole glitter and all that, and I'm just not really into that. But she's really like progressed like a lot. She's done a lot, so she deserves it.
She's gotten really good. She's like athletic because of her cheerleading and gymnast background. So it's cool seeing how she works for her size, like still making herself seem like a threat.
Oh yeah,
I like seeing that.
The thing is, I love it. A lot of people compare like her heel run to how Trish Stratus was. I'll say like around 2005, 2006. You know, when she was turning on Lita, the matches that Lita and her had, the broken nose, and just the whole heel vibe that Trish had. But I'm like, I could see it. But Alexa's kind of doing it with her own flair and her own style, and I gotta say,
yeah. She's even mentioned how like Trish is one of her idols. So if she is taking inspiration from it, there's no problem with that. Everyone takes inspiration from someone in the past. So
one thing I will say on the male side of things is, can we get over the Roman Reigns hate already? I mean,
never. No, it has to live forever.
So
that's one person that I don't like.
Really? Oh, okay. I have to hear this. Go ahead. Explain. What happened? What was the moment?
So when we got back into watching wrestling, we saw The Shield, and Delmi was Seth Rollins, I was Roman Reigns, and our friend Juan was Dean Ambrose, because he just looks like him. And I mean, I just don't like Roman Reigns. I think they push him too hard. They give him everything so easily. He doesn't really do much. And I just like seeing the younger guys, the newer guys, the indie guys, like the smaller guys, not the muscly guys, win it, and because they work so hard, and then they just throw Roman Reigns for main event for WrestleMania, 3 years?
3 years in a row, yeah.
That's insane, yeah.
Okay, I'll ask this. Undertaker, his last matchup was against Roman Reigns. I enjoyed the send-off. It was very nice. It hit me right in the heart, because I'm a big, huge Undertaker fan, as I'm sure you guys are. But did you guys enjoy the match?
I feel like because it was his last match, I would have loved to see it maybe
with someone he had worked in the past, or someone he had a close connection with.
Yeah.
But I understand Undertaker's he's one of the business guys. He's always going to do what's right by the company. So he's not going to, debate, no, I want to work this guy, So it is kind of hard, because I wanted to see an Undertaker match. And I felt like I didn't see an Undertaker match for his last one.
The thing is, John Cena's inclinated it in his promos that it was originally supposed to be John Cena versus The Undertaker, not, John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice, which... All right, the problem, before I get back to the whole Undertaker thing, is I'll say this. I don't know if you guys can agree with me on this scenario I'm going to paint here, but Maurice is a wrestler. Maurice was a former Divas champion. She hardly did anything in that doggone matchup. I think that was... Yeah,
actually, Nikki Bella was injured.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so they couldn't really do anything, which kind of sucks. She ended up getting the x-ray, I think, the Wednesday of that week.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I think it's just, that's the one thing I know, because I think the way they painted it, it's Mrs. Wife, but she Maurice, that's what I'm saying. She's a former champion, so let her get some stuff in. I think that's how a lot of people felt, and which I felt to an extent. But yeah, with Nikki's injury, and now she's taking time off. So you get to see it from that point of view. And did you guys enjoy the proposal at the end there with Nikki? Will you marry me?
Yeah, I think that was cute. We were actually like riding with two of our friends who are also wrestlers.
Mhm.
So we were trying not to cry because we're girls, and we were just like, "Don't cry about it."
Yeah, we were just like, oh, big deal, right? Like, this is whatever. And inside we were like, yes, like, we finally did it. But yeah, it was awesome. I'm surprised she didn't cry. She was very like, her mouth could not
I
move.
think she said in an interview, like, she was like, I kept thinking it was gonna be fake. Like, here it is. He's gonna not propose again.
He's gonna make me look bad in front of everyone.
Now, one thing that was very stellar from WrestleMania, the Hardy Boys, they're back.
I know, yeah.
Winning the tag titles. Have you guys been enjoying their latest run with the Hardys? Now we're going against Cesaro and Sheamus again for Extreme Rules. What do you guys think?
When I saw Sheamus kick, Jeff Hardy in the mouth and lose a tooth, I was like, oh my god. Like, I can't even imagine the pain that he was, like, feeling. Like, I've had my tooth cracked. My tooth cracked, and that hurt. But also I had my jaw broken. But, yeah, so that was really scary to see.
That's actually that actually brings us to a nice little segue there, guys. Before we get back to the product, I have to actually ask both of you ladies, worst injury. I mean, I know you mentioned your jaw and your tooth as well, but what's like the worst injury would you say you both have had competing?
I would definitely say my broken jaw. It happened in a match, and it was over something that I do all the time, and it was just like a freak accident. And I remember trying to reach Delmi to tag, but everything was like so slow for me. And when I tagged her, I remember at one point in the match we were both laying down, and I was like, I think I cracked my tooth. And she was like, what? Yeah, wrestling. And I was like,
No, I told you to roll out.
and then I remember
We're supposed to pin at the end. We hit our double team. And I'm looking at her. Normally she pins. So I yell, pin him! And she's not moving, so I go to pin him, and she also goes to pin him, and we double pin, which kind of isn't legal.
So,
and then we had to cut a promo right after the match. And I wanted to cry. I was like, this is not happening.
you actually beat me to the follow-up, because I was going to say, yeah, that's going to suck if you got to cut a promo right after in your mouth and your jaw. Oh, man.
Yeah. The whole time I thought it was my tooth, and I was just like, oh, my tooth. And luckily there was a doctor there, and he gave me a prescription, like told me to go to the hospital, and I immediately left. Jocelyn had drove to the hospital, and it turned out to be my jaw, and I was like, well, great.
Delmi, if you could say any worse injuries for you?
I had my sciatic nerve, like, in pain for months. It was hard. I couldn't do anything where I'd, like, lay down on it or even sitting oddly on it, my hip, for a while. Like, I couldn't do anything on a bench, working out-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be, like, a throbbing pain that I'd get shooting down my leg, and I would, like, limp a little. I would get that, like, after matches sometimes and just, like, have to limp back home and stuff.
So, we mentioned the tooth with the Hardy Boys as well. It's bad, but we also mentioned we can't think about the Hardys, we still think about this whole scenario going on with them, Impact Wrestling, the owl, F that owl is a t-shirt, and every Impact fan is like, respect that owl, and, Ed Nordholm, Jeff Jarrett, Dirty Dutch Mantel, Dr. Zeb Coulter, whatever the hell he wants to call himself on Twitter. Guys, what is your thoughts about this whole Impact scenario? Rebby Sky, she's pregnant, and they just, what's your whole thoughts about this stuff? It's ongoing as well.
You mean the lawsuit whole thing?
It's the lawsuit, and there's just been a lot of Twitter banter back and forth. It's just, yeah. But mostly it's mainly the lawsuit, yeah.
I know the only tweet that I saw was Rebby's
Mm-hmm.
long post that she posted. I haven't seen any other ones.
Yeah, that was
But-
the latest one this week was the one with Dutch just going back. It's long, and I'm just like,
Oh,
it's
wow.
just banter. It's just banter going back and forth. Is all I'll say. But
Oh.
yeah, what do you think about this whole? And pretty much, I'll say Rebby is taking it to the streets. And no, I'm not talking about the Doobie Brothers, but she's taking it to the streets with those tweets. So what are your guys' thoughts about the lawsuit?
I gotta like tip my hat off to her for sticking up for her husband.
Yes.
Because it is an unfair scenario. Like, Jeff and Matt paid for that whole programming out of pocket. The whole broken Matt Hardy gimmick. So, yes, I see Impact's point of being a little hurt that they took it. But they were doing it on the indies as well. And in ROH. It's not like they were only doing it at Impact. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
It was their thing.
And it's like something that you want to see everywhere. Like, obviously, when the Hardys come out in WWE, like, everyone wants to do delete. Like, it's just
It was
fun.
cool. It was different.
Yeah, it was different. And, like, yeah, you want to see, like, the old school Hardys, but, like, this is, like, you know how everyone changes and they go through, like, an evolution, and that's their new, like, thing. And I think everyone wants to see it.
Yeah,
So
we want to be a part of it.
I'll say this: we're gonna probably maybe see signs of it. I mean, Matt's doing delete, and he's doing the wonderful and all this stuff every time he comes out. I mean, I'm looking forward to see where it progresses. You know, Matt actually took a little shot in a way on the Twitter, saying that WWE is the most professional place that he's ever been, taking a little wink, wink, jab, jab at Impact Wrestling. And
no, yeah.
yeah,
I
but
think WWE is doing the same thing to Impact on
yeah, well, yeah. So I mean, speaking of Impact Wrestling, get back more to some female side of things. The WWE side of things I'll get to because I want to ask you guys because we're going to get a women's tournament in the summer, much so as we did last year with the Cruiserweight Classic. But before I get to that, I have to ask you guys, Impact Wrestling, what are your thoughts about the merger from Impact and GFW and some of the new women we got? You know, we got Sienna's in there, we got Christina Von Eerie, who was originally Toxin, but she's in there now. We got Allie, formerly Cherry Bomb. We got Rosemary, formerly Courtney Rush. I mean, we got a lot of great women there. Diamante. I mean, give me some of your guys' thoughts on the Impact women's roster.
I'm really happy that Sienna and Allie are in it now.
Mm-hmm.
And also, they just signed MJ Jenkins.
Yes.
So it's cool. It's nice seeing all these girls on the independent getting an opportunity to show themselves on TV like that. It's definitely, there was a point where Impact had gone down a little bit after the original group had left. So it's nice seeing them rebuilding it again. Like, there's very few women in Impact for a while, so it's nice seeing, like, more numbers there so they can, like, switch things up a bit and not get it to be stale.
We also met Sienna for Rogue Women's Warriors, and she was, like, amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
she's really sweet.
she's so nice. We took a picture together. She was awesome. Alexis Nevaeh, who's been around for so
Yes.
long, especially
Oh,
like
yeah.
all over New England, like, and finally like being signed and like being where she wants to be, like, she deserves it. Like, just deserves it so much. So I'm happy to see her on there as well.
So I'll say this: I love me Alexis Nevaeh. She's tremendous on, like you mentioned, on the New England Championship Wrestling scene. Classic, her and Mistress Belmont, tremendous talents. What are your guys' thoughts about how we're getting the wives incorporated in this whole Eddie Edwards and Alicia versus Dana Richardson's Angelina Love feud that we got going on?
Me and Delmi used to like joke around how she was Eddie and I was Richard and Davey, and seeing them break up and like having that whole feud, it's like, no, but like, I mean, you kind of see it happening. I think it's great. Like, I think it's awesome how they're doing, you know, like something like a couples kind of match thing, but in a serious way. So, and I'm happy that, you know, Alexis has an angle there too. It's not like, oh, here's a random match, you know, it's just like she has an angle to go for.
I've been a fan of the Wolves since the Ring of Honor days, and I think you both can agree that these guys, I mean, I remember their WWE tryout watching on NXT against the Ascension, and I think the exact verbatim verbiage, if you will, I think Triple H said was, we have guys like you already, and then they went to Impact Wrestling, and they've been just doing their thing ever since. So, I mean, it's great to see them progress. And like you mentioned, MJ Jenkins is great there now with the women. Ava Story is there now. I mean, it's great to see a lot of talents coming in. And I got to ask overall, what do you think about this GFW merger? Jeff and Karen merging it with Impact Wrestling?
I actually haven't heard about that. What is it?
Impact and GFW just merged.
Impact and GFW.
Global Force Wrestling, Karen and Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have much knowledge on it, so I don't really know what to comment about it. I don't know how they're going to do it or how it's going to be set up, but I think it might be beneficial to both companies. Mm-hmm. Merging is usually what happens in businesses when you want to be able to expand your company, yeah. So it might help benefit both of them.
Because the latest that we've gotten so far is, I know they're incorporating more of their championships because we have Impact Championships and, your traditional knockouts, your tag team, and your World Heavyweight Championship. They're now on their TV. They're doing a tournament for the GFW tag titles. We're going to get the Next Gen title and their Heavyweight Championship. So they're going to add more titles, which is beneficial. So we'll see how it goes. Let it play out. I'm not going to ultimately dismiss it like we mentioned about some certain wrestling fans.
It's terrible.
It's horrible. Damn them. Okay.
I want to see something new.
But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. And NXT, very happy for Ruby Riott. Had a killer match last night against Asuka and Nikki Cross.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we saw.
I know. Unfortunately, Ember Moon, shoulder injury, was not able to compete. But I got to say, those three women killed it last night.
Yeah, they did. It was nice. Honestly, like, even their poster was like, wow, there's, like, no Barbies on this match.
Yeah.
There's usually, like, always, like, there's so many girls who do, like, the glamorous gimmick kind of deal, and, like, seeing them just being themselves, like, Nikki Cross just being, like, her crazy lunaticness, and Ruby just being, like, that same girl who she was on the indies is great.
Yeah, they're, like, just fighters really going at it.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I got pissed off at, and I actually saw this on an Instagram, and it hurts me in a way as a fan, just because, women's wrestling has evolved over the years, much like how wrestling in general has evolved, which I think you guys can agree with me on that. One thing that pissed me off is, it's Ruby Riott, what is that thing? Oh, she doesn't look like them. It's 2017. Not every chick or every woman wrestler is gonna look like how we had like the models and so like the Barbie dolls.
Barbie.
Like, come on, get with the program.
I mean, same with like Kimberly. Like, when you see Kimberly and you see like the tattoos, you just like think, well, I don't think I'll ever see her in WWE, but there she is, and so is Heidi Lovelace. Like, they made it for a reason, and it's not about like the tattoos, and it's not about the hair. Her hair's too short, or like she doesn't look like a Barbie. It's literally because she's good at wrestling and she knows what she's doing, so they deserve it. And a lot of people just like look on the outside and don't really like focus on like the moves that they do and like just how they think and stuff like that. Like, when The Rock first came out, they hated him. But when he's like...
We don't talk about The Rock's debut.
I mean, they booed him. Like, they were like...
I mean... The man got Die Rocky Die chance. I mean,
yeah, he got like horrible chance. I wanted to say it, but I was like, I don't know if I should say this on the podcast. I'm glad you said it.
It's a little extreme, man. Oh, speaking of The Rock, I gotta mention it. So 2020, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? As on Saturday Night Live, he announced Tom Hanks as his running partner against...
Oh my God.
So... I thought it was funny. It cracked me up. And could you imagine the debates and the promos between Donald Trump and The Rock going for president if it was legit? Oh my God, it cracked me up. And that
I haven't seen that yet, but I'll have to watch it.
Oh my God, you guys got to check it out. It's SNL. It was all over Twitter last night, and I'll say this right now. Baywatch with him and Zac Efron looks hilarious. Oh
yeah,
my
it
God.
does actually. I've never seen Baywatch, but I kind of want to see it just because The Rock's in it.
And this is someone who's seen every movie that he's done, from like The Rundown to Walking Tall. I regrettably saw Doom. I've seen I've seen The Tooth Fairy. I've seen.
Ruins your childhood.
And I'm just like, oh. And don't get me wrong, Julie Andrews, your Mary Poppins, your Princess Diaries, and all that stuff. But my God, just that movie, that freaking movie. And what's funny about it is, I'm watching it, and the kid that plays the son in it, with The Rock and Ashley Judd and the Tooth Fairy, was actually the same kid that was in that WWE Studios movie, That's What I Am, with Ed Harris. Do you guys remember that one?
I don't watch WWE studio movies.
Oh, Mike.
Sorry.
To be honest, I don't blame you. The first one I saw was. I'm not gonna
say anything.
I'm not gonna lie to the people, but come on, those movies they're crap. All right, I'm just gonna put it nicely. They're crap. And the one I think that they're gonna like play on USA, I saw they were previewed. They're gonna play 12 Rounds 3 Lockdown, which was the one with Dean Ambrose. Which, yeah, Dean Ambrose as a cop. Okay.
I didn't even know that happened.
God. When did that happen?
I'll say it was about a year or two ago. That's my
wow.
thing. I kind of stopped. I stopped. I mean, I stopped. The last one I'll actually say that I saw, and I'll say it, I saw the Scooby-Doo one that they did with AJ Lee and like CM Punk and the Big Show and everyone.
Oh, now that I would want to watch because of AJ Lee.
And I think they did one with the Flintstones, which, yeah, that was okay. I know they're doing another one with the Flintstones, and I actually did watch the Camp WWE on the network, which was only like 5 episodes, but it was entertaining for what it was.
I love the WWE camp. I thought it was funny. Ric Flair was hilarious in it. Stone Cold sounded funny to me.
Yeah. Everyone.
And then Triple H. Stephanie.
I think the one that made me laugh the hardest was Bray Wyatt, when he would just come in and they would automatically play his music when the Wyatt family would come in. Oh man.
Oh no, am I in love with the wrong McMahon? What's a rat trouser?
Camp WWE. But yeah, they have a lot of good stuff on there. Like, I've checked out the ride-alongs. I've checked out, what else did they have? The WWE 24 that they did on Finn Balor was tremendous. I know we got Goldberg and Kurt Angle coming up in that series.
Like Table for 3.
Table for 3, yeah, there you go. The latest one with Kurt Angle, Edge, and Christian is hilarious.
Oh, I gotta watch that one.
What else we got? Oh, I still have to check out the UK thing from Friday. I have not seen it yet, but tremendous matchups I heard with Tyler Bate and Mark Andrews, who was in Impact Wrestling, and Pete Dunne and Trent Seven. And speaking of those two, spectacular matchup last night between Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne.
Oh, yeah. You're going to love that match. I mean, you already watched it?
I already watched that one, yeah. The one I
Okay.
need to catch up with is the UK special. But Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne was tremendous. And what made it even sweeter was they got JR to call it.
I know. Oh, my God. Yes. That match was amazing. I need to wind it over. I love that match. And I was so sad when Tyler lost. I was like, no! Why?
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to this UK series that we got coming to the network. So
It's so good, yeah.
It's really, really good. And we got a UK chant. We got a Fight Forever chant.
Oh, yeah. The UK chant. Yep.
Well, the Fight Forever chant could just... I mean, I get it, but yeah, well, okay.
What's wrong with it?
And there's nothing wrong with it, but there's so many chants. This is awesome, Fight Forever, and I love the Fight Forever, but yeah, it gets just some of those chants. Not the Fight Forever, but the This Is Awesome is a little much at times. I'll say it at that.
Too scripted almost, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
like when a crowd's just like roaring, which was cool to see. Like in that match, the crowd was just going crazy.
Yeah.
I think they were standing at one point too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
That's
to.
how a crowd should be.
Yeah, I had to think for a second. I'm like, yeah, it's not the Fight Forever. I was thinking of This Is Awesome. That's why, because the This Is Awesome just gets overplayed. I got no problem with Fight Forever because what those guys did, I'll have to say, I'll say it exceeded what we had in that UK Championship final matchup. I mean, don't get me wrong, that UK Championship and final match was extraordinary, but this one, my God, those flips that he did, the deadlifts, just everything.
Oh my
about
God,
it.
I know. Yeah, the quads that he has. He's a strong little boy. Like,
The dude is a beast.
he just turned 22, right?
I know, yeah. God. I mean, Roderick Strong. Roderick
Why
Strong.
didn't I work out at that age? You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I
right.
could have had his quads.
Yeah, friggin' 19 and 20 over here, just friggin' doing deadlifts. And I'm like, God.
Deadlift everyone. Deadlift Delmi.
Makes you think to yourself, what was I doing at 19 and 20? Jeez.
I know.
So, the whole thing with NXT was good. Roderick Strong and Eric Young had a great opener. I mean, what else? Oh, Bobby Roode and Hideo Itami was tremendous. We got the GTS chant. And yes, there was a little CM Punk chants, but Hideo was the OG of the go to sleep. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll ask you guys, do you think the CM Punk chants are a little overplayed now?
I'm actually surprised that they were saying CM Punk. I think the last time we heard a CM Punk chant was it when Stephanie McMahon made a comment?
Yeah, and she told the crowd, this I'll make you guys last more than CM Punk did in an MMA fight. She pretty much shut them down. She pretty much shut them down. It was good. I enjoyed Bobby Roode and Hideo Itami. Great matchup. They're actually letting Kenta Hideo Itami do his thing, the go to sleep, everything. And I loved how they're executing Bobby Roode's the glorious DDT, how he hangs onto it and then he does the spike at the end. I love it. I think that's a nice little transition into it.
Yeah.
And then we had Authors of Pain and DIY kill it with the exploding ladders. That German through the ladder, my God. And Johnny Gargano taking the punishment that he did. A great main event.
Yeah.
But what'd you guys think about the turn? From Tommaso Ciampa onto Johnny Gargano.
It was really unexpected, actually. I thought they were gonna let them
Grow more,
Yeah,
more
grow
years. I feel like they did it too soon, but I also feel like maybe they want to see them on their own and shine on their own, you know?
They're both great at singles, and then they're also good at tag team. So I thought they were just gonna stay together a little longer, just for the fact that the Revival had just been called up. So I was like, oh, okay, so they'll stay together for a little bit.
And unfortunately, Dash Wilder's jaw is... Yeah, he's still... I gotta say, that dude is a tough SOB. Dude's doing, chin-ups and all that with, a battered, smashed jaw, and I'm like, my God. I'm really...
Jesus, I would not be doing that. I'd be watching WWE Camp.
Well, I'll say this. It's like a reverse of their theme song. They say, yeah, but you say, oh, no. Like, oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, no for me.
So, I'll say this right now. We got to get, when they come back, a battle of the Kakalakis, the North Carolinians, if you will. I love to see me some Hardys versus the Revival.
Oh, that would be really good to see, yeah. I think anyone with the Hardys would be a good match, because the Hardys are just, they're vets. They know what they're doing. They've done this for so long. So any match, any tag match. I love the Hardys and the Young Bucks. And I loved how the Hardys were smart enough to, put delete on the Elite. I think their feud was great.
I love the Hardy Boys feud with the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
One I was very happy to be in attendance for. They did the second one for Northeast Wrestling at Crosby High School. Those guys killed it. I love their matches, the House of Hardcore matches, the under the stars for Northeast Wrestling. Those guys have killed it. And the ladder match right before WrestleMania was, my God, those guys are great. I mean, one Jim Cornette has his feelings towards the Young Bucks, but then again, this is Jim Cornette we're talking about, very old school. But yeah, I got no problem with the Young Bucks. I mean, what do you guys think about, everybody say, too many super kicks. The super kick is not a finisher anymore, too transitional. Somehow they say with the DDT, because when Jake the Snake Roberts would hit it, it was over, and DDT has become a transitional move. What do you guys think about that ideology there?
I feel you know how in Pokemon, the first generation,
yes,
they were so strong, in your eyes, oh my God, they're so strong. Charizard's the one, but then you get new generations and new generations and new generations. Charizard still can't be that guy. There's different things. So I see that the DDT, it was a finish at that time, but it still can be, even though people kick out of it. And it's just there's different ways to do it, and I think it just you know what I'm saying, it
Did you just bury Charizard?
I understand what you're saying. I think just the Pokemon, going back to Pokemon, kind of threw me off a little bit, but alright.
Not a Pokemon guy, eh?
Okay, I'll say this right now. Back in the day, those cards are those are my stuff. I love those cards. I used to collect those cards out the wazoo. I love me some Pokemon, but yeah, I wasn't expecting the Pokemon analogy there. Got no problem with it, but yeah, I understand where you were coming from.
I think the whole super kick thing, I think it's good for the Young Bucks, but I think whenever someone else, because like they can keep up with that pace that they have, whenever other people try to emulate that same format of matches that they do, and it comes out sloppy, I think that's what the issue is when someone tries to do something, and because they don't train or practice the same way as the Young Bucks had to get to that level, and it just looks sloppy, and then the crowd's like, what are you doing? Like, that's the issue.
The follow-up to that, I can ask both of you, ladies. Randy Orton issued a sarcastic apology to the supposed Indie Marks and Indie guy. Are you guys familiar with what Randy Orton said about the Indies this week? And
didn't he say how he does less and he gets paid more, and we do more and get paid less?
Yeah, the exact verbatim. To not quote Michael Cole, but I'm gonna, to the anonymous Raw GM, and I quote, sorry to the indie marks, indie guys, and old timers who do dives. Took offense just having a good time over a few drinks in Denmark, closing the SmackDown Live tour while beating Raw and making over $5 million in the last 11 shows. Now I notice some that doesn't equate to a standing room only crowd of 150 people, paying $8 at an armory somewhere, but in the big boy world that's called putting asses in the seats. So enjoy your flips, dives, and 20 super kicks per match. To each their own. I will go dive back into my 13th title run and get ready to flip when my bank statement comes this month. Headlock.
I mean, honestly, Randy Orton's on the road more than the lower indie guys. So, like, me and Ashley are on the road, like, twice. We're only on the road in the weekends. He's on the road, like, every day. He's doing matches every night, pretty much. He can't work that style. Otherwise, he would just burn out. Whereas, yes, the indie guys can do that, but there's some people who, like, they'll do crazy moves, and it'll be that one match that they have once a month. Or maybe they work twice a month, and they do, like, this crazy, insane match. Which I think that's what he's, like, he's, like, ribbing. He's, like, making a joke about it. It's like, you guys can't think it's basically just telling us, like, hey, humble down. Which I can't even be, like, I can't retaliate against it, because, yeah, he is getting paid more than me. Like, he's kind of right.
Yeah, I mean,
he's probably not saying it to the Young Bucks because they make just as much as some of the WWE guys, but to the lesser crowd to the lesser guys who try to make themselves seem bigger or try to get like an ego or an edge on themselves because they do like these insane moves, it's like you're not getting paid enough for it at the end of the day. So you always want to like stay humble and like want to progress. Don't think you're like all that because you can do a flip off the top corner.
I'm on the same mindset as you are. I've mentioned, I'll reiterate it to you ladies, I have nothing but respect for what the guys and gals do on the indies. I've seen a lot of hard workers, yourselves included. So I understand where he's coming from, but yeah, those guys work hard, whether it's for $8 for 150 people or 10 people, 20 people. I'm just, respect for what you have on the indies. I'm all about the support indie wrestling and all that. So I understand where he's coming from, but yeah, wasn't a fan of the little sarcastic dig.
Yeah, I don't think
I get it, but I think he's just digging at it because some indie wrestling is a bit too much. Where it's not well thought out. Like a match is just like move for move for move instead of like telling a story. And I think that's what he was like cashing about it.
Would you say it's like video game style wrestling, like X, triangle, circle, square, up, down, left, right, kind of like, just going through like moves and just not like, not like flow, because some will like equate it to video game.
Yeah, almost. Like a lot of matches tend to get that way.
Or like you see people trying to get a popular clip out and it's kind of too much.
Yeah,
there's like blood everywhere
to share on Twitter.
Yeah,
they're not trying to tell a story or like get over the other person. They're just like, all right, what can I do to make myself look good? And that's the whole thing about humility that I think, like, Randy Orton was just, like, shutting everyone's ego
And
down.
most people don't even have, like, health insurance. So, like, I feel like people need to, like, really watch what they do so that they don't, like, get hurt or get stuck in a situation where, like, I can't pay my medical bills now.
Yeah.
And it's also not about money. Like, me and Delmi, what we do, like, we love it. And we can do it for, like, you know, $25 because we love it that much. So I'm okay with, like, not having that money, Randy.
So, I'll say this to you guys, because this actually stemmed because Randy Orton retweeted one Rip Rogers, very legendary figure in the pro wrestling world, as far as training wrestlers and being in the ring himself, because this was going off of what he stated, because he was very vocal about how independent wrestlers perform in today's wrestling, and they focus on how many of their matches consist of flips and dives. It's all that they're really, they both focus too much on it, is what Rip was saying. So, from the old school standpoint there, what do you think about what Rip Rogers has to say about that?
Rip Rogers is always right. That's what I have to say.
Can't argue with him, eh?
That's what I'll say. Yeah, what Rip is a tough SOB. That's all I said. That's all I'll say.
I'm not gonna say anything, and then he's like chasing me down. Nope.
I think that's what I'll say. And being the wrestling fan that I am, and knowing of Rip Rogers, I really don't want to piss that man off. I don't care how old he is. I really don't want to get stretched by Rip Rogers. No, thank you. Oh my God. Yeah, but that was like being stretched by one dangerous Danny Davis down there at OVW. No, thank you. No, thank you. The nightmare Danny Davis. No, thank you. Okay, so anyway, moving on. Ladies, I have to ask you about the women's tournament that we're coming up for the summer. Thoughts? What we got the women's tournament coming. Who do you guys think should be in? Who would you like to see in it? Overall thoughts?
I believe I heard that Kimberly and Heidi were going to be in it.
Yes.
Or not sure if they changed it.
Yeah, the other rumor that I heard, ladies, is possibly Marty Bell and Jade will be in it.
Oh, man. I did not hear that.
So if they get Marty Bell, yes. Jade, I can see because her last stint with Impact Wrestling, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So she's going back for Mia.
Back as Mia Yim.
Mia Yim,
Yeah, she
yes.
changed her Twitter handle and everything.
Okay.
Someone who they wouldn't have announced, probably.
It's going to be great.
Tony Storm.
Yes.
She's been killing it in Stardom, so I think maybe they'll bring her in. I know they've worked with Tessa before, so they might bring her in.
Deanna Purrazzo
Yes,
might be in it,
maybe. Yeah, Deanna. Santana Garrett. Hello.
Yeah, she's been doing a few things with Impact, though, so I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true, yeah.
Like, I know she did work with WWE and NXT for a little bit, but I don't know how, like, contracts worked and all that. So.
Another name that I have, I think you guys can agree, Rachel Ellering, if she's not doing anything.
Rachel Ellering, I
Yeah,
was
she'll
gonna
definitely be in. She was just in the Battle Royal they did.
I would have said Kennedy Brink, but I now know that they brought her in as a referee.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with her at reffing. Does she ref regularly?
No, she was trained by the Dudleys, Team 3D.
Yeah, she wrestles.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. Maybe she'll transition as a wrestler later on. Because I really like her in-ring work.
I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what we have. I'll say this right now out of respect for you guys. Say WWE, Ashley Vox, Delmi XO, hello.
Oh man, no.
No.
That'll be a bad tournament.
It'll burn.
No.
Or drown in this case.
Stop. But I'll say this right now. That's most respect for you guys. You guys are awesome. So yeah, I would love to see you guys work in that tournament.
Aw, thank you,
you.
but I don't think we will.
Maybe next year.
Maybe in 5 or 6 or 8 years.
Hey, some up and coming star. Hey, we had that friggin' who was it in the UK tournament? I forgot the kid's name, but the kid was like 18, and Mark Andrews carried that kid. It pretty much made that kid look like $1 million. But he's a great UK competitor. Forgot the dude's name, but I know we wrestled Mark Andrews in like the opening style of that. And I gotta say, for 18-year-old, those guys are like 18, 19, 20 years old. I mentioned Tyler Bate with the quads and the beast and just
Yeah, I don't know if like America, come on, like we're behind. Like we gotta get like our teenagers need to start bumping at the age of 15.
Fucking freaking getting the stashes ready, just getting our stashes
No,
on.
growing a beard.
friggin' putting the mouthpieces in our mouth, and Bruiserweight getting a tattoo on our leg. Dude's got a tattoo on his knee. One of the worst about to get a tattoo. He's got it on his knee.
God, why? My joints.
Freaking Pete Dunne is tremendous, though. I love that dude. And a lot of people are saying if William Regal gets out of retirement, please do William Regal versus Pete Dunne for one more match with Regal.
Oh man, yeah.
Okay, and I'll say this for women's wrestling. I've had her on the show, and Ashley, you've known her very well as a friend and in the in-ring as well. Same with you, Delmi. Davian, give her a shot.
Oh, Davy. We call her Davy Chan.
Or Dolphian.
Dolphian.
I believe the last time she was on the show, I believe she called you her little sea urchin, if I ever got that correct.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
It's going to be a part of our new SeaWorld order.
SeaWorld order, yes. But yeah, oh my god. That's another thing. I love me the Bullet Club too. We now have Marty Skrull, who's in the Bullet Club.
Oh, did you see their YouTube vlog about it?
Oh yeah. Those guys are great. I love freaking Omega and all of them. But Adam Cole Bebe is no longer in the Bullet Club. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, a lot of people are about the Bullet Club because I think it's just a carbon copy of the NWO, which, duh. But
yes, obviously.
Which, duh. But
oh man, that's mind blown.
My God, you don't say. No, but anyway, it's fun.
Tell more.
No, it's fun though. It's fun. I got no problem with it. Those guys.
I'm bittersweet about it. Like, I love Adam Cole and the Bullet Club, but also Marty's in it. But like, I just wish they all just stayed. Just stay.
What happened? Where's Adam going?
From what I heard, it could possibly be NXT. Not sure.
Okay.
But yeah.
I was thinking NXT or maybe the Kingdom, just because I think I recently saw a photo
of Bennett.
Yeah, like a throwback. So I was like, could this be? But I don't know.
Okay. Ladies, I have a couple final more topics I want to discuss with you guys. And I'll say this right now. I'm having a blast speaking to both of you. So if you guys ever want to come on again, here's an open invitation.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of fun talking wrestling, talking about Jakira, so I've been really enjoying it. I'll say this again very much. And I'll say this right now, continued success going forward to both of you, too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So, we'll start with this. 205 Live, Cruiserweights. Neville is the king of the Cruiserweights. What do you think about the overall 205 Live? He brought back the Cruiserweights. What do you think about the show? We got guys like Tony Neeson there, Drew Gulak, TJP, the artist formerly known as TJ Perkins. Now we just shortened it to TJP. Jack Gallagher, Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, Arya Davari, the brother of one Sean Davari. What do you guys think about 205 Live?
I think it's a little underrated. I see it talked about very minimally.
Yeah.
So
we've seen photos of like Drew Gulak with like signs and like dressed up. I think that's cute, but I'd like to see more of him maybe, and like maybe a title shot.
Yeah, put Drew Gulak over. Yeah.
He's doing like the Donald Trump gimmick in NXT. No high flying.
I saw the photos and I was like, because I think there was like a debate going on or something like that. I was like, I hope this isn't like a president kind of like Donald Trump thing.
So here's the thing. He wants no high flying. I'm not lying. He has like a megaphone and the bullhorn there, and he has a sign that says no fly zone. And pretty much he's trying to tell all the cruiserweights to stop at the high flying, and he's making 205 Live great again.
That's great. That's hilarious.
And he's currently in a feud with Mustafa Ali, who is another tremendous athlete. That dude with that inverted 450, the reverse 450, I love it.
Yeah, I love Mustafa Ali.
Other thing I'll say, Women of Honor. A lot of great women there. Whether it be Faye Jackson, whether it be Karen Q, who I've known has made some appearances there. Kelly Klein, who is tremendous. What do you guys think about the Women of Honor scene?
I just recently saw Karen Q's match, and I thought she did amazing. I was at the Women of Honor seminar with her, So she deserves it. Like, I'm really happy for her. She's been training, working hard. She trains, I don't even know how many times a day she trains. She probably trains every single day with Deanna. But, yeah, she's killing it. And I hope to see her again there at Women of Honor.
Okay. So, ladies, tonight is WWE Payback on the network. You guys excited?
Yeah, we always do this thing where we make picks. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do that and then see who wins.
Yeah.
You guys, you just brought me into the segue because I was going to ask you what your picks were going to be because I was going to actually ask for you guys predictions on this because I figured why not, because as everybody knows on the S&M Show Podcast Network, my mom and I, we do our little predictions audio, see how we do. So I figured let's get right into it. Let's talk about the card. So first matchup I have is actually the pre-show match. For the third straight time, Ty Dillinger goes one-on-one with the Drama King himself, Aiden English, going back to the WWE singing gimmick that he did in NXT. Who are you guys picking? I'll start with you, Ashley.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger. 10. Yes. One that actually got announced on Talking Smack, and the mask that makes him laugh. Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan.
I got Luke Harper.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Luke as well.
This one pains me just because of how he's been being booked in a way, but I love him anyway. Baron Corbin, BC in the building, against Sami Zayn.
I'm gonna go with Sami Zayn. I love Sami Zayn, so I have to go with him.
Olay.
I'm gonna say Sami Zayn also, but I feel like he's gonna lose because they never let him.
But I'm still gonna pick him.
I'm still picking him.
I'm with that one. I picked Baron Corbin because I'm like friggin' Sammy's getting jobbed out constantly, which it's a damn shame. Okay, if you want to complain about some wrestling fans, that is a damn shame. Sami Zayn, I'll be with you about that.
I know. Move him up.
I love the friggin' sign that said "Push Hawkins." By the way, on Raw, that was great. Push Kurt Hawkins. Face the facts.
Yeah.
Oh,
barely see him, just like Zack Ryder.
Oh, I have to ask you guys, what do you guys think about this? Well, we had two heel turns on Raw. Goldust turned on R-Truth. Now that's what's up. And we had looks like Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil are like a thing now. So what do you guys think about Apollo as a heel and Goldust as a heel?
I don't know if I can picture Apollo as a heel. He just seems more babyface.
Me too. It's a very hard transition for me. Yeah.
It's like I think Darren Young was a heel at one point. I was like, this isn't working. Just doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Then we tried to make him great again. And what happened?
Yeah.
But all in all, I will say this. It's a hard transition for Apollo Crews. I'll say that because I loved him as a babyface. But what about Goldust? Do you guys really want to see a Goldust R-Truth feud, which it looks like will be on the pre-show for Extreme Rules? Yeah. Yay, nay.
I'm not really a fan of Goldust tagging with R-Truth. I like Goldust by himself. I don't know if they're trying to do like Goldust and a Booker T like back in the days with R-Truth.
Sort of kind of deal is what they're
I don't know. I don't really...
So
not a fan of it.
You mean to tell me you do not like the mix of what's up with this one's for you? You want it, the Golden Truth. What's up? What's up?
No, I liked Booker T and Goldust more.
Hey, Booker T and Goldust at the movies was tremendous. That will never.
That was awesome.
That will never get old. But yes, you guys are going Ty Dillinger, Harper, and Zayn and Corbin. We're different a little on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go to the Fashion Police next against the Usos for the tag titles. I'm saying Usos. Who are you guys going with?
I think the Usos, but I really wish the Fashion Police would win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Fashion Police on this one.
I will pop so hard. I love these guys. Can we give Tyler Breeze something? Can we give him something?
Give him something. Yeah. Give them something.
Tyler Breeze, man. He was so good in NXT.
And then the whole heat was, he's having the feud with Dolph Ziggler. Then I think he got permission to walk out on a taping, but then someone got mad about this. He got heat. Then he was just jobbing out for no reason, and I'm just like,
was that it? I had no idea.
That was like he got permission to go, but then somebody saw it, and then he got heat, and I'm just like, it's stupid. Come on, the guy's talented. The man friggin' wrestled Jushin Thunder Liger at Brooklyn.
Yeah. I love him by himself. Yeah.
But yeah, so Breezango, Usos. I want Breezango, but I'm going with the Usos. Or as I like to call them, the thuggin' and buggin' straight muggin' Usos. 12 days, son. The Usos penitentiary. Oh my god. I mean, do you like the transition? We went from wearing the Samoan paint, doing the dance, the Siva Tau, that tribal dance, to this. What do you guys think?
I think eventually it turned good. Like, at first it was like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, like, where did you end up?
Well, here's the thing, if you guys remember. Before they actually started doing that, when they
were like, with bandanas in their pockets and, like, thuggish, kind of-ish.
Yeah.
And then they went into the Usos and, like, yeah.
Yeah, but before that, with the paint, they started having, like, a little mini alliance with Roman, and then everybody started booing the Usos they're guilty by association, damn it. Damn it. Ugh, but too funny. Next, what is probably going to be the match of the night. Kevin Owens, the face of America, even though he's Canadian, versus AJ Styles. They don't want none. They don't want none. I got to say Kevin Owens. We're going to get more of that of these two, and I think it's going to be excellent.
Yeah. I feel like Kevin Owens because I feel like AJ Styles needs to go for, like, the
world title?
World heavyweight.
Yeah, the world heavyweight title. I feel like it just fits him more rather than the United States.
I was gonna make a joke. That big belt, that main title that they.
We're a brain fart.
It's okay. I've had it too, so no worries, please.
How many titles?
I'm teasing. It's okay. There's really too many titles if you actually think of it.
I think Kevin. He's gonna find a way to win.
Okay, so are you guys both in agreement on Kevin Owens, or are we one's going AJ Styles, or what are we thinking?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens? Okay. Okay, this will probably be an obvious one, but watch, they'll swerve us. Shinsuke Nakamura makes his main roster debut against Dolph Ziggler, which it's going to be great, but I'm going Nakamura.
Yeah.
Nakamura.
Nakamura's got this. Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen Dolph, like, get a push at all, like, in years, maybe? So...
Well, he got the thing with The Miz, and then the Spirit Squad got involved, which watching the Spirit Squad as the Squad on Ring of Honor TV was just tremendous against the Young Bucks, and they actually had a very good match. But, yeah, the Spirit Squad. Kenny and Mikey, yeah. And you rarely hear from any of those other guys. I don't know what happened to Nick Mitchell. Johnny Jeter, I think, left the business, and then Dolph is still there. So, yeah. But, yeah, it is what it is. But Nakamura, we're both in agreement on that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now we'll go to 6-women tag team matchup. It's Team Charlotte. I'll go Team Charlotte. Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Naomi. Feel the glow, yo. Against the Welcoming Committee, which I think is probably one of the worst stable names since the Union. Or some people like... Which, some people like it, but whatever. I mean, that's y'all's thing. Natalia, Carmella, and what was the other? Oh, shit, I'm forgetting the other one. Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina. There you go. With James Ellsworth in their corner. As my boy Dave Burnham in the UK, as Dave is on this network as well. He calls them Ellsworth's Angels, which cracks me up every time I hear that.
That's a better faction name.
Ellsworth's Angels, yes. So, ladies, are you going with Team Welcoming Committee or Team Charlotte?
Team Charlotte.
Team Charlotte. I mean, the first name's not working. Welcome to wrestling.
Oh, man. So, yes, I'm going to go with Team Charlotte, too. Oh, man. So then we have our main event, which would you have thought, like, a year or two ago, or hell, even a couple months back, that this person would be main eventing a wrestling pay-per-view?
No, not at all. Neither
for the world title, as we have Randy Orton defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against the Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, with the Singh brothers, formerly the Bollywood Boys, in his corner for the championship. Ladies, who are you picking?
Randy Orton.
Randy, I think the feud's going to continue.
All right. The thing I said with this is on my predictions that I did. I'm going to go Randy Orton, but paint this with me. Now listen. Randy Orton and Rusev. Rusev's talking about coming back. He wants that championship match at Money in the Bank. You think we'll get Randy Orton and Rusev for the title? Maybe Jinder will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, because Money in the Bank is a SmackDown branded pay-per-view, because Raw has great balls of fire, which I can't believe that's the name of a pay-per-view, Great Balls of Fire. But, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Randy Orton. I think we're all going to go Randy Orton. But I won't be mad if he wins, because I think Jinder has vastly improved, and I actually have been enjoying his heel run as the Maharaja.
Yeah, I think Ginger's going to do great in the match, but Randy Orton's going to win it.
And he hears voices in his head. Woo! Okay. So, yeah, that's our Backlash prediction. So, yeah, I'll say this. It's a Backlash, I'm sorry. What did I say? Backlash. Duh. It is, oh god, what the hell's the name of the pay-per-view?
There's so many.
There's so many pay-per-views. What the hell's the name of the pay-per-view? Is it Backlash? Yeah, it's Backlash. I'm sorry, Backlash. I had it right the first time.
Okay. Brain fart there, right, mate?
Yes, thank you. So, yes, I had a brain fart too. There really is too many, alright? There's like two a
There
month.
is. It's every other week, so it's like hard to keep up. It's like, oh my god.
Friggin' Great Balls of Fire friggin' is coming, which originally supposed to be Brock and Braun, but now we're gonna have that fatal 5-way extreme match with Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt, and Seth Rollins. I mean, it's gonna be good, but do you guys see Roman Reigns winning? That's because we're gonna probably get Brock and Roman down the trench.
I really want Finn Balor, and I know it probably won't happen because he just recovered from his injury and all that, but I'm rooting for Finn. Like, I really want to see Finn up there.
Anyone but Roman.
Forever. Boo.
80% chance that it's not him.
Oh man, but yes. Oh my god. No, I'm just thinking about now because I have there's so many pay-per-views in my head because there really is because legit I'm sure you ladies have caught yourself. I'm like, wait a minute, what's the pay-per-view that I'm supposed to be covering?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, oh my god, stop with the pay-per-views. Remember when it was just once a month? Remember when it was just once a month, the good old days?
Ah, the good old days, yes.
All right, on the Impact side of things, I'll mention this to you guys. So we got Slammiversary coming July 2nd. The spoiler had came out. What do you guys think? It's going to be Joseph Park, Abyss, Abyss, his brother, Abyss, and Jeremy Borash against Josh Matthews and the returning Big Papa Pump, Freakzilla himself, Scott Steiner.
What? I did not actually hear about this, but the fact that Big Papa Pump is coming back, I'm so that's awesome.
So, have you guys watched Impact at all? I'll fill you in if you guys are not.
Not really. We usually read the tweets, and that's how we get our news from.
Okay.
Or sometimes we hear it around, friends tell us.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't watch too much of Impact.
Okay, I'll say this. So, I usually watch it a day after because I work during the weekdays. Or if I have a night off, I'll watch it. Check it out on the Poppity Pop TV there that they have, which it cracks me up because they have this thing now at the Owl because they're all about the owl. They have the owl flying and their entrance and the entrance video before they cut to the actual show. The opener for the show has the owl flying, has the superstars and the owl. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But anyway, point being, as I'm going to make here, Joseph Park comes back as Jeremy Borash's attorney because, he got kicked off the announce team. He got suspended. Josh Matthews is like, we all know you're Abyss, blah, 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 because it was. We found out it was actually Abyss and Joseph Park are the same person 3 years ago when Eric Young was still there. So we're going to get Abyss as Joseph Park and Jeremy Borash, and they told Josh Matthews to find a partner. Well, one Impact Wrestling, put out on their Twitter as Chris Jericho and Bully Ray would say the Twitter machine on Impact Wrestling's Twitter, and it had the words "Oh my God," and it's just Scott Steiner running out to beat up Joseph Park.
Whoa!
And Scott,
I did not see that.
Yeah, Scott Steiner, who's 55, 56 now, doing his thing with the jacked up largest arms in the world.
Has he been wrestling around, or did he just randomly pop up? Because I don't think
he's done indies out here in New York. I will mention this. He actually wrestled on a show at City Field against one Rob Van Dam, and one Goldberg appeared on the show and gave him a spear and a jackhammer.
Wow.
So I mean,
that's awesome that he still has it. Then
yeah, he could still go. I mean, anything will be better than what we had the second time around, which is unfortunate. I mean, we had the matches with Triple H, which were, the Royal Rumble matchup, But yeah, that, and then he had the feud with Test, which over Stacy Keibler's services, which, and then we had him turn heel, and him and Test were aligned, and then, Unfortunately, his second run was not as big when him and Rick were doing their thing back in the 90s.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, Scott Steiner is back, and that's the big news everybody's been talking about with Impact. So we shall see what goes on. And lastly, before we do close out, I have to ask, I'll ask each for you both. I'll put you both on the spot. Top 5 favorite matches of your career so far inside the squared circle, and top 5 matches in general. I'll start with you, Ashley.
Oh, wow. Young Lions Cup for this year. My recent match with Delmi for Top Rope. Murloc and I. UFO match. Me and Jocelyn were tagging because it was her first match. And when Delmi and I worked Jade and Leva Bates for
Queens of Combat.
Queens of Combat. I was like, oh my god, the name. Yeah.
Okay. 5 matches in general. It could be from any promotion, whether it be WWE, Impact, WCW, ECW, or it could just be any indie match.
Wow.
I'll give you. There's a plenty of options. So if you had to pick,
all my matches.
well, if you had to pick like Ashley as far as like general, then we'll get then Delmi, I'll get to you as far as in general, and that's
Such
what
an
I'm.
ego.
Sorry, I should have clarified. It was my fault, so my bad. So go ahead, Ashley.
I'm like over here thinking like, what are 5 good matches?
All right, I'm sorry. That was my fault. I'll admit it. My fault. My bad. My bad.
Alright. 5 matches you like, Ash.
No, you go first.
Okay, Delmi, go first. Somebody go first.
There was the Bullet Club versus Team Chaos match from New Japan.
A very good match, yes.
Main event WrestleMania 20.
No, I'm just saying I love that because I was there for WrestleMania 20. Benoit, at the end of that, him and him as
Wow, you were there for that?
Yes, I was.
Oh, I'm so jealous. That's insane.
Yeah, it was electric that night. Benoit and Guerrero hugging at the end of that show.
Yeah.
Foley and Orton, that whole thing with the Rocket Sock connection against Evolution. The return of the Undertaker with one. Oh yes, the Paul Bearer coming back against Kane, and the whole "You're Not Real" just touching him. It was great. The whole night, and one Molly Holly on the women's side of things. Molly Holly getting her head shaved.
Yeah. That was insane. I felt bad for her.
Yeah, I know, yes.
Really depressing.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Well, then we had, unfortunately, on the SmackDown side of things, we had Tori and Sable against Stacy and Jackie in the Playboy evening gown match, whatever the hell that was.
Yes.
Which don't get me wrong, as a 12-year-old kid, I mean, beautiful women, but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's how I felt too.
Well, wait a minute. But the point I'm trying to make is wrestling is what I'm saying. I was looking for the wrestling. I'm trying to be a total perv on here. So go ahead.
We don't judge you.
I know it's okay. I know you don't. I'm teasing. I'm having fun, guys.
Okay. So that's 2. 3 more. I would say I'm gonna be a mark for my boyfriend right now and say Tomahawk and Tatanka versus the Monarchy at Lucky Pro Wrestling. More matches. There was the end of Kings of Trios last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was JWP versus Sendai Girls. That one was insane because it was 2 women's trios at the end, so it was a queen of trios. And then one more would probably be probably Trish Stratus and Lita, the main event of Raw.
That suicide dive.
Yeah.
That suicide dive.
Sorry about the reaction.
That's,
We've all been there in our lives.
That suicide dive. And then I'm watching Sasha Banks do it in, I believe, WrestleMania 30. I'm like, oh.
Yes. I was terrified. I was like, oh, no. Oh, God. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it was a main event of Raw, too.
Yep.
So it was almost like a ghost moment. It was weird.
Deja vu all over again, yeah.
Yeah.
So, now, Ashley, now that we got you more time to think, what are some of your, in general?
Now that I stopped thinking about my stuff.
No, I'm just saying we got yours, so I'm just saying, no, you know what I meant. Yeah, whatever. Go ahead. You know what I meant.
Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
When Brock did the moonsault.
Oh, the shooting star from WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, the shooting star. Yep, and he, like, missed a bit, and, yeah. But the match itself was beautiful. Eddie Guerrero and Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Bret Hart and Roddy Piper. El Generico and Delirious. I don't know which promotion it was, but they did like a really funny. They did a lot of Gaga in the beginning, and it was just a really funny match. Just recently, Mike Quackenbush and Zack Sabre Jr. for More Than Mania.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are my 5.
Okay. So, one thing I did have to mention, since we did make the news, we talked about Bullet Club earlier. Guys, you looking forward to Omega and Okada 2 coming soon to New Japan?
Wow, really? I'm not ready for that.
46-minute classic that we had at Wrestle Kingdom, and now they're going to try to outdo what we had at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. I'm not ready.
And the only thing you could say is, unfortunately, what happened to Shibata, getting the subdural hematoma, and unfortunately, it looks like it might be a career-ending injury for him, because Katsuyori Shibata is tremendous.
Oh, what happened to him?
Did you guys see the Okada versus Shibata matchup? I believe it was from Sakura Genesis, one of those New Japan shows that they did. So
no.
Okay, so the main event, it was tremendous. There is a spot towards the end where Okada does the headbutt. He headbutts Shibata, headbutts Okada. You see the blood trickle down, and it was a brutal headbutt shot. He headbutts him, then when he goes out the ring, he like staggers a little, and then we found out that he had to be rushed to the hospital, and he suffered a subdural hematoma, and he was like paralyzed on like his right side.
Oh my gosh.
So it might be a career-ending injury for one Katsuyori.
Wow, just from a headbutt?
Yeah.
Like, not even a diving headbutt. That's insane.
And, well, you could hear them, like, clack. It was like doink, clank. It was bad. And
where could we watch this match?
Okay. Do you want to see just... YouTube has, like, the quick clip of the headbutt. If you want, I'll give you the whole match. I think it's on Daily Motion. I'll send it over to you
guys
when
I'd
we're
love
done.
to see the whole match.
Okay, I'll send it over to you guys when we're done. How about that?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Be happy to. So, guys, again... absolute blast for the last hour and a half we've been doing this, talking wrestling, talking your guys' matches. Again, be happy to have you going. I'll definitely will be in touch with you guys. This was an absolute blast for me. It's actually one of my favorite interviews I've done so far.
Thank you so much. This was actually one of our favorite interviews. Like, I think the last time Delmi and Jocelyn had a podcast interview, I was driving, so I couldn't, but it sounded so fun, I couldn't really, talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But this was so much fun.
Yeah, please. It's an absolute pleasure. I love doing what I do, and I love to have you guys back on, which it looks like we're going to do, and we'll set it up. It's going to be beautiful. So, before we do the stuff and say our goodbyes, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the social media universe, the galaxy, if you will, I'll start with you, Ashley. Plug it.
My Twitter is Ashley__Vox. I know I had to do 2 underscores. I don't know who stole my name. Instagram is AVOX _. And we also have a YouTube channel. I think you can find it by Team 3 Stars if you search that. If not, it's AVOX Film. Delmi?
My Instagram and Twitter are both at DelmiXO.
All right, so yeah, do you guys also have a team like Sea Stars Twitter? Because I know some teams have like a joint kind of thing where they both like have like a Twitter, like for example the Bella Twins. I know tag.
Oh
team
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we do.
I forgot about that one.
It's at Team Sea Stars.
Okay, so all those links to the Twitters, the Instagrams, and all that good stuff, and any Facebook, or if you guys just want, I always ask, but I know some people like to keep it private, some people add fans. I just figured I'd ask, any Facebook or just mostly Twitter, Instagram?
No, we don't have like a fan page, but if you want, just I guess search our names on Facebook and we'll pop up. Also, I forgot at Jocelyn _. We can't forget our shark.
I was about to say, how do you forget the shark? I mean, you got one more team. You got the shark, man, the shark. My God, yes, but absolutely, this has been an absolute blast. Ashley, Delmi, thank you very much for coming on, and yeah, it's been fun, and guys, lots more to come. And if you've, besides this interview, had a lot of great interviews on the S&M Show Podcast Network. My last interview I had on was former part 1/3 of 3 Count, Mr. Evan Courageous, former WCW superstar Evan Courageous. So check that out. Gonna check out this one now that I'm about to put up with Ashley and Delmi here. Davian, go back and listen to that. Nikki Adams. I had a lot of great people on, and there's a lot more great stuff to come. It's been an absolute blast doing this. And for Delmi, for Ashley, for Team Sea Stars, my name is Mike Larkin. Everyone have a great night. Peace.